Right. True Blood, Season 5, Episode 9. Everybody wants to rule the world. Don't we all? Tears for Fears, baby. Anyway, what's going down? A lot went down in tonight's episode. A lot got wrapped up, thank God. There were quite a few storylines we were sick of and quite glad to see the end of. But let's start with some ones. Well, let's start with my notes because if I don't follow my notes, I'm going to forget something very important. So, Vampire Authority, burning down True Blood factories, okay? That's what's going down. But Eric has it in his mind that he's going to escape, that all he needs is level 1 clearance, which Molly, Tina Majorino, can't find. They need Salome or Nora's blood to get out of there. So Eric talks to Bill. Oh, the bromance. What happened to the bromance? Bill, okay, tonight, Bill, was not a good night for me to love Bill. Bill was sleeping with Salome, snacking on a naked dude. Everybody snacked on the naked dude, actually. And not helping Eric. He's all like, we saw God. God is a vampire. Yeah, okay. Alrighty then. So Eric still trusts in Bill and tells him his plan to escape using Nora or Salome's blood and asks Bill to get some of Salome's, which is why Bill kind of has a little fling with Salome later in the episode, where he actually sees Sookie instead of Salome, so there's that. But Eric convinces Nora that he's ready to believe, and then traps her in her room with Molly, the techno whiz, and just as they're about to get Nora's sweet blood and open the door so Eric can flee, Salome and Bill come marching in, and guess what? Eric is busted. Again! Jeez. I need Eric to get out of there and find Sookie and blow this vampire thing, use the fairies to blow it all up. And they're going to need the fairies, the supernaturals, and the werewolves to get this blown. I think it's going to be supernaturals versus vampires. Okay, who are also supernatural, so whatever. Supernatural war! Alrighty. So Bill does have Salome's blood. At least he looks at it when he's in the middle with Salome, but I don't know. I really don't know if Bill is playing or if he really does believe in all this stuff. I really hope he's still with Eric. I need Salome to go down. So, meanwhile, Pam and Tara's storyline was very short tonight. Basically, they were worried about the True Blood, and then Pam says, don't, stock it, don't hoard it, let people have it if they want it. Then at the end, some dude shows up and sits on Eric's throne and was eating a chick, and uh, and Pam says, hey, you're not get off my master's throne. And then he throws her and says he's the new sheriff because that's what the authority has done. They've instilled him as the new sheriff and the order that they can all feast on humans. Well, yippee skippy, look at that. Alright, Sookie's storyline was everywhere tonight. So she tries to find out about Warlow using Lafayette as medium. But that doesn't work, but they contact Gran. Gran shows her a box under the bed. The box contains a newspaper article that says that Bud Dearborn is the one who found Sookie's parents. Woo! Could Bud be the dragon? Oh man, I said he might be. I said he was involved in this several episodes back with that random meeting between him and Andy. They don't just throw random stuff in for no reason. So then, over on Jason and Andy's, they beat the guy they have in jail pretty nastily. And they are watching a video of the Obamas making soup out of supernaturals, which is gross, when they see some foods that reminds them of Bud Dearborn because on one of the people. Well, Bud got them for his retirement. So, and I said that kind of weird in country, retirement. For his retirement. And so now they know Bud is involved with the Obamas, so they're on their way over, and Sookie's on her way over there. That's where these stories collide. So Sookie goes over first, and she's all like, hey bud, tell me about my parents. And then she reads his mind, and he knows she can read minds, so he's like trying to get her out. She knows about the vampires, but she thinks, because he says in his mind she's gonna find out what I'm hiding. Well, what he was hiding was not anything about Suki's parents, because that's vampires apparently, but that his new girlfriend is the dragon leader of the Obamas. And yeah, her family owns, or his family, his ex-wife, owned a pig farm. Because there was something about pig scent on boots that Sam and Luna discovered earlier. Their storyline was Sam and Luna kind of showed up in the middle of all this because they made themselves into flies so they could hear what Jason and Andy were talking about. So they went to Bud Dearborn's as well, I guess. They show up at the pig farm. Anyway, Sookie gets kidnapped, taken to the pig farm, where she sees Hoyt. She tries to use her fairy power, but she's kind of drained it out, so it's kind of like fritzing, and she can't use it. So Bud goes and gives her the ginger ale, or whatever it is, the stuff she has to drink that's like laced with drugs and stuff. Just as he's doing that, Andy and Jason show up, and then Andy and Jason are in trouble, and then, oh no, Sam shows up, and he's one of the pigs, and I guess they sick the pigs to eat the people. What? Anyway, it all concludes with all those people hanging out at the pig farm, the downfall of the Obamas, and that story wraps itself up, which is fine. Then Sookie, there was some Jessica, because she was worried about Hoyt, but that was about it. Sookie ends up back at home after all this ordeal. The fairies come to basically bring her to fairy because the vampires are trying to take over the world. Okay, this is not good for fairy-blooded people. Sam and Luna are like, okay, the Obamas are gone. Let's go get Emma, because Emma's with Martha. And here we go with another storyline. So, basically, Elseed has a small storyline where he remembered when he joined the pack and his dad was the leader. And he was a teenager, about 18 or so, and there was a young lady in it he seemed to like. And then he ended up going to his dad's trailer where his dad was drinking and gambling his life away. And apparently Elseed is now doing the same thing because he's abjured from the pack. Meanwhile, Steve and Russell, we find out finally that Russell is the vampire, as we guessed many times over, that was supplying the V to JD. So he goes to the werewolf meeting place with Steve, and Steve's like, I wish I could have one of them for a pet. So they go in, and Russell, well, JD tries to assert his dominance, but Russell's like, I'm in charge. And takes little puppy Emma away so that Steve could have a little werewolf puppy pet. I certainly hope they're not going to feed off of Emma. That poor child. First she almost gets shot, now she's being kidnapped by vampires. Oh, lordy. So it's the beginning of a kind of a new storyline, because when Sam and Luna finally get there, they're going to find out that Emma has been kidnapped. Okay, so I did Elsie, Jason, Sam, and Luna, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what am I missing? Oh, right. The last storyline that wrapped up tonight was the Lafrite storyline. A very pointless storyline, as it turns out, because basically Patrick fled after the whole you gotta kill Terry or Patrick needs to die. So he flees, but he holds Arlene at gunpoint at Merlotte's. And Terry shows up to get her back. Patrick goes to shoot Terry. Arlene stabs Patrick. Terry gets the gun. Actually, Arlene gets the gun. Terry somehow gets it too. Patrick's on the floor. I figured this might end a little differently, but it didn't. They start to see the vision of the lady. She tells him, he must do what's right. Terry shoots Patrick in the head, and the Lafrite comes out of the lady's mouth and takes Patrick's body away. So, Patrick was introduced just to kill him. That was interesting. I do not know why this plot existed. It didn't need to. It was a stupid plot. It had nothing to do with any of the other plots. So what? Anyway, so looking forward to Eric finally busting out of the authority and kicking some vampire tushy. I'm looking forward to Suki getting some power back in her hands and using it to defeat the vampires. I really said, as I said earlier, or maybe not, I can't remember, is I'm pretty sure it's going to be werewolves, because they've now been turned against vampires by the stealing of Emma. The supernaturals, the fairies, and the humans battling the vampires. Because this just cannot be. So anyway, I think there's only like 13 episodes a season, so 4 more to wrap up. The Authority storyline is the only main storyline left, except for the Emma's kidnapping storyline, which leads to the Authority anyway. So everybody's being pulled back into the Authority direction, which is fine. We don't have all these little scattered plots anymore. Alright, till next week. Bye-bye.